Interesting times in the arm wrestling world. So many haters, so much passion, more than ever. There's more eyeballs on the sport. Uh, there's more publicity. There's more people making money, and clearly by the salt, there's more people losing money. More people are invested. It's leading to all sorts of interesting conversation. This has inspired me to make a video to hopefully educate some people just on kind of the way I see things that hopefully somebody can relate to, and perhaps set the record straight a little bit on what it's like to be me, because there's been a lot of things said about me that I've been reading and listening to, that are just, they come from a place of, I would say, being uneducated. So, why arm wrestling? Why do you do it? Clearly, you love strength, you love performance. I think that that's probably it. That's probably a great place to start. The mastery of this miniature fight is a fun activity to do, and it's a nice measuring stick that you can kind of you can say at the end of it, yeah, I'm getting better at something that I get enjoyment from. That's where it starts for me. It's always been about that for me. I remember falling in love with strength from the time I was a little kid, and I know that in the human experience, being strong is only a very small part of what it means to be a human being, but it's the part that I've really kind of committed so much of my life to. I made these decisions before I was conscious, so it comes down to who you are. Before 2001 is a chapter of my life where I would say I was very much just educating myself in the sport, aligning myself to what the sport was, getting better in the sport through it was in a very different time than what we have now. I started off as a WAF arm wrestler. That was pretty much where my sights were set, and that just has to do with where I was raised. Um, just so happened that the culture that I was kind of born into, very very WAF based at the time, and we were focused on provincials, nationals, and then going to worlds. I remember that one of my considerations coming up in the sport was I never wanted to put my family out. Everything that we have, Jody and I have worked for. I never wanted to go to events that set us back. Didn't want to do it. So everything had to be kind of easy for me to manage. And luckily, being an Army guy from '96, they actually sponsored me to go to all the WAF events. Little known fact. So I was paid to go to provincials, nationals, and worlds by Canadian Forces Base Petawawa. What a good deal! Great deal. I was thrilled to do it. Get to do something I love, and didn't put me out of pocket. And they paid for all my expenses and my meals. So we make a couple bucks. But to me, ultimately, I knew that the measuring stick was rankings. Okay, rankings. I knew it in arm wrestling. It's not like other strength sports where it's very simple. Can I lift more weight? That means I'm better. It's, can you beat your peers? Can you beat the next guy on the rung, the next guy on the rung, the next guy on the rung? Ultimately, you get to the top, and that's where everybody's ultimate sight should be. Can you be the best? It's not a reality for everybody, but the idea of climbing and to conquer some hill, it's just a fun thing to do in the sport. So that was it. That's kind of where I've thought about arm wrestling. I received a ton of criticism by people trying to pull me down. Yeah. Sidebar. I remember I was at some Easter or something with my family, and there was this guy. I think he was like my uncle or great, I don't know, something like that. Thad, and I had this great poster that I'd brought back from one of my trips. It was basically a poster of this dude, this great big tank-like dude, and he was smashing in the face of this this kind of faceless other big dude, and this guy was clearly like the king of the hill, and all these other people were like coming at him, fighting, and like people were fighting those people coming. It was just like a massive fight scene where everybody was kind of trying to get to the top, like, you know, what do you say, like a bucket of crabs kind of idea. Like everybody's kind of trying to pull, and I'm like, Dad, this is what I think of arm wrestling in a way. Like it's this mad climb where everybody's trying to, you know, take everybody out and pull everybody down and get to the top. And he's like, really? He's like, you like that? He's like, you like that? And it's like, he's like, what's the point in getting to the top? Somebody else is just gonna pull you down. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's whatever. Anyways, rankings, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to climb that mountain. A lot of people have been trying to pull me down lately more than ever. Ultimately, I take it as flattery. Thank you for your attention. A lot of the people I see do it are clearly just jealous, and it's okay. I get it. Okay, I beat you. I get it. My advice for anyone out there, the best thing you can do when you get beat by someone, that's why you arm wrestle, to learn, to take the lesson. Because most arm wrestlers, most good arm wrestlers are stubborn. Most of the time when I meet new arm wrestlers, you know, all sorts of different guys and girls show promise. While stubbornness is not typically thought of as a good characteristic, a lot of people who are stubborn end up doing well because they have a great belief in themselves. But I would tell you that the best thing that you can do is understand that the very best lesson is from competition. All the stuff you do in practice, all the stuff you do in the gym, it's got nowhere near the value as that match that you've prepared for, gone to, and lost. When that happens, best thing you can do, swallow it, digest it. You might be lactose intolerant. You might have to burp some of it up. You might end up getting diarrhea and not be able to get, you know, everything you need from it. But do your best. Digest that thing, absorb it, so that you can get what you were actually looking for. Anyways, so to all you guys who are complaining, just understand that I am your teacher. And you'll do better when you realize that. No, the complaining about the rules, oh my God. You guys make me laugh so much. But I'm getting sidetracked. So, period from 2001 to 2016, I was a special forces guy. I had to very methodically choose when and who that I could do these tests with, because I never ever let go of the sport throughout my entire life. I've never let go of my love for arm wrestling and the love for upping my performance and my strength. You know, never stopped. I had to choose very carefully. Why? Tours. You're gone for periods. Training for tours. You're gone for periods. You don't get out of that. There was... A lot of people don't understand that when you work at a high response unit, you don't just get to go on leave. You don't get to do it. You can go on leave, but you can't leave your bubble. You got a 2-hour bubble that you can't leave. It's called out of area leave. And most of these units they're just understaffed. And it's difficult. It is difficult to get this leave, and honestly you feel a bit of guilt every time you ask for it. Because there's things like weddings, funerals, things that are probably a little bit more important than an arm wrestling tournament. Selfishly, I did many times request it. The free time always for me was after a tour. After a tour, they always let you kind of do whatever you wanted. You normally had like a good month, sometimes even 2 months off, sometimes after a good long tour, where you could be out of area. Nobody would typically touch you during that time period. This is normally when I try to plan all my matches. There were exceptions. If there was a big tournament, I'd jump on it. Like I remember Niagara tournament where that was actually the first tournament. Well, there's a lot of Americans there. First time I met Travis. People say I don't pull tournaments. I mean, I won the first time Travis and I ever met each other, and that was in the super heavyweight division. Mike Gould Classic, which is probably, when you look at the history of North American arm wrestling during the time era from 2000 to 2000, before the UAL and WAL started rocking, Mike Gould Classic was probably the annual event that you could count on for being the highest paying event during that time period. I think that I won basically every single year in the 220 right and left, and I typically won at least one of the super heavyweight divisions right or left. It's just true. I mean, it's just what it is. People said I haven't won tournaments, haven't competed tournaments. Europeans came to that event because it was probably paid more than Nemiroff did a lot of years. Then in comes the UAL, WAL time period. Contracted. WAL, I think, paid probably, 5 times as much as any European tournament. $20,000 for first place, right and left. I mean, it was ahead of everyone else by a massive margin. It was open to the world. I won more hammers than anyone else. So when people criticize me that I haven't pulled tournaments and that I haven't pulled Europeans, well, whose fault is that? Okay, whose fault is it that you didn't show up? There were Europeans that came. Okay, there were. And that's a tournament. It's the biggest tournament there was during that time period, and nobody won it more than me. So I don't understand the criticism fully. Anyways, so understand that there's a lot of fake accounts out there. When people post things, you cannot accept it as the truth. And I know that that's the tendency nowadays, that all these accounts just have an equal voice. It's just simply not true. People say things as if it's a fact. It's not a fact. It's a bit comical to me, but I appreciate the attention. I really do. It shows me that you care. Anyways, I've got 6 months till I pull Levon. And people are saying that I shouldn't be even considered because I'm such a puny, weak, non-European pulling, tournamentless pulling, no victory, clown league arm wrestler. Maybe there's some truth to that. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out soon. People are saying it'll be another 6-0, just like with Dennis. Maybe it's true. Levon's incredible. He is. Levon is an incredible arm wrestler. He's the best. But I'll tell you that from North America, I'm the guy. I am. I know that. And you should too. And from Europe, when I say Europe, I mean, let's talk about the whole world. I definitely deserve the match. Definitely. Because I will throw something at Levon much different than what the other people who are on that list will. I'm very different from Vitaly. Vitaly's incredible. Vitaly is future of the sport. Alex Krdecha. Again, same thing. Very different. Don't go thinking I don't have a chance. Don't do that. It's not healthy. Hope you guys are having a great new year. Hope this year brings you everything you want. My New Year's resolution for this year, I think I'm going to break it into 2 parts. Because from now until end of June, I consider that very separate from what happens after. From now until June 25th, I just want my life to be extremely simple. The most simple life I can possibly make. And I want to focus on accuracy. I just want to be able to hit bullseyes. Just in anything I'm going to try and do, I just want it to precisely match my intentions as closely as possible. That'll take me up to June 25th. And then after June 25th, I am going to smell the roses. I'm going to enjoy and explore all the possibilities that the world has for a little bit. I'll move from simplicity to complication. But that's still a way to go. I hope you guys have a great day.